Okay, we are now live. Hey, everybody. My name is Gerard Matthews. Welcome. This is really, really exciting because we're going live right now on my LinkedIn page, on my Facebook page, on the Crash Course Facebook page, and the Crash Course YouTube channel. So hopefully, between those four things, we'll find at least some people willing to chime in and ask us a question. Um, like I said, my name is Gerard Matthews. I'm the CEO of the Crash Course, and essentially, what the Crash Course is, it's a video production course. It's really aimed at communications directors at nonprofits. However, it's really for anybody that wants to use video to communicate on their website, social media channels, whatever. Right now, it's a 10-part course. I take participants through the course. We teach you about framing, about lighting, about um, composition, about how to ask interview questions. Then we go through editing and tell you how to edit these things so you can put them on your platforms and make them look a little bit nicer. So we've been doing the Crash Course for 3 years. I think each year we've at least done two cohorts per year. So we're sitting at about 6 or 7 groups right now, I think. And we really work with people all over the country to get them creating more video content for their organizations. And so there's a lot of technical stuff that goes into this. Um, Using cameras, using lighting, worrying about audio, learning how to use an editing system like Adobe Premiere. But there's also what I think is really a more philosophical thing about it, which is essentially we're getting people to stop being perfectionists and just create more content. Because really, if you think about it, a lot of what's stopping you from putting yourself out there or like making video content for your organization is just you want to wait till you think you have everything perfectly thought through and planned out and mastered before you do it. But just like anything else in life, we know that if you live life like that, you're never going to do anything. So we are trying to get more people to take the course, obviously, and we want more people to know what it is. And so, in an effort to do that, today I'm going to be joined by my producer, Anderson. Anderson's going to pop on here in a second. There's Anderson. How's it
How are
going?
you? I'm good. I'm excited.
I'm doing
We're,
great.
we're live, like we usually exist only in Adobe Premiere.
Right. And you and I usually see each other on Zoom. Anderson, tell everybody where you are.
So I am in sunny Santa Monica, California, and so we are covering across the whole country.
Yeah. And I'm in Little Rock, Arkansas. So Anderson and I have been working together on the Crash Course for the last 3 years. So essentially, what we want to do today is really we want to just open this up, and we want anybody that wants to chime in to comment on the post and ask us a question. And I don't care what the question is. It's what's the best where's the best place to put my camera for Zoom calls, or if you want to hop on here, we can send you a link and you can show us the camera that's sitting in the drawer of your office desk, and we can answer questions about cameras or whatever you want. But yeah, we're going to be here for a few minutes anyway. We'll see what happens, but comment on this post and we'll answer any questions you have about video production, big or small. And so, a little bit about my background. I've run a freelance video production company now for the last 7 years, work mostly with nonprofits. We make videos for all of their social platforms, their websites. They want to show at events, basically kind of anything they want. And, I just kind of saw a need out there that there's, what I do is, these like professional and polished videos, but there's also a need just for like the quick response, or like the really quick Instagram reel, or if you just really want to communicate really quickly with your audience. Right. So I think there's like a place for both, wouldn't you say, Anderson? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, the best content you can produce is the content you can produce. Like it's all about putting things out there, communicating regularly, however is easiest for you to do that. And I think Crash Course really does a good job of showing you not only how you can make the polished video, but also like how you can get comfortable with these things and these processes and thinking about other kinds of videos you can put out there. Because variety is going to help kind of spice up who you're bringing in to look at your content, who you're communicating your message to. And I think like really all the tricks help you reach more people.
yeah. Yeah. And I think there's, you know, this stuff, it all looks harder than it is.
Mhm.
For the most part, people that are getting a lot of attention and increasing their followings and like consistently reaching their audience, those are the people that will take a phone out and just put it on themselves and say the thing and put it up on
Yeah.
Facebook. They're not editing it, they're not taking a lot of time, they're not making sure it's polished. Now, I think one of the things that's cool about this course is we teach you how to do both. And one of the first assignments we give people is just put yourself on camera, like make a video,
Mm.
introduce yourself to us, tell us what your guilty pleasure is. That's one
Yeah.
that we've used a couple times. Just to get people used to being in front of the camera and making something and putting it out there for other people to see. Now,
Exactly.
the other thing that we give people are templates that they can use in Premiere Pro that have their logo animated at the in a sequence at the beginning, at the end, and have a piece of music they can use, and have animated lower thirds so their name appears on the screen. So we give people stuff to make it look more polished if that's what they want. But really, I think it's just about saying, what if this were easy?
Yeah.
you know
And not letting perfect be the enemy, and not trying to over. We've had several people through, like you said, we've done 5 full cohorts. We're doing 2 more right now. We're in the middle of 2 more right now, and every class we have somebody who says, I don't I don't feel comfortable putting this out there, making a video yet until I know how I want this whole thing, whole series to look.
hmm
And sometimes it's I don't know. Sometimes the real answer is you don't know. You cannot plan how it's going to look
right.
3 videos down, because you may find a different way of doing things or a different spin on something, and you really can only figure that out putting things out there and seeing what works, not only for your audience but also for you in making it.
Yeah. And we're doing that right now because
Yeah.
we've never done this before. And so we're using a platform called Be Live to go live to all these different places: YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. And so if you're seeing us anywhere on any one of those platforms, it would be cool if you would leave a comment on one of the posts, because I really want to see how that works. Whenever that happens, we will be able to see the comment here. We can bring it up on the screen, and we can talk about it for a while.
This plane is being built in the air as we fly it.
Yeah, exactly. And it looks like we're on CNN. Like,
Right, it does.
that's this is it's like Zoom, but a little bit better. So yeah, I guess let's talk about some of the groups we've got right now. So we've got 2 cohorts that are going on at the moment. One is with the Center for the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities out of Washington, D.C. This is a group that looks at and analyzes tax policy. They have a grantee organization in every state. So in Texas, it's called Every Texan. In Arkansas, it's Arkansas Advocates for Children and Families. In Louisiana, it's the Louisiana Budget Project. But they have a grantee in every state. So for the past 3 years, we've been taking those grantees about 10 or 15 at a time and putting them through this course. And so one of the cool things we started doing last year is we had folks go through what we consider to be an intro level course, and we had so much interest and so much people that wanted to learn more that we did an advanced group for them too, so that if they wanted to kind of keep going, get deeper into editing and fine tune some of the stuff they were working on, they could do that. So that's one group, and that's, the total universe there is 50 grantees. Like I said, we take them about 10 or 15 at a time. That way we just have kind of a manageable load. We meet once a week on Zoom. We're there for an hour a week. They have an assignment. We're all part of a Facebook group. They upload the assignment to the Facebook group so everybody can kind of see it and comment on it. And then, Anderson, you did a little bit more research on this, but our other organization that we're working with right now is called the Headwaters Foundation out of Montana. And so what they wanted to do is take kind of the same approach that the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities did, which was they have all of these grantees all across Montana and wanted to make a crash course available to all those grantees. And so do you remember, like, there's such a wide range of groups?
Yeah, I mean, and we have 15 of them represented, like, taking the course right now, and they span from everything from, I think it's a United Way chapter, a Habitat for Humanity chapter, several related to Native American tribes that are located within this, like, Western Montana region, and they also deal with different areas of expertise, including like healthcare, general welfare, general betterment of their communities.
Right.
There's a Sealy Lake nonprofit that is kind of, I think, more of an environmental or just kind of like advocacy group that is focused on this very specific region. And then
We've
there's
also got the skateboard park,
the Skateboard Association of Montana, which is trying to build skate parks just around the state for, kids, adults, anyone who's interested in skateboarding, and trying to bring that sport or make it a little more accessible for people in just everywhere.
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of a fun group of diverse group of people.
Yeah. That's what I love about that group. They're from all different backgrounds. We have people that they're wanting to advertise the opening of a new skate park. The next group is wanting to organize a funding drive to protect their corner of the environment there in Montana.
We have I think we have a couple of food banks represented as well. Right. So it's just, there's a lot of different there's a lot of different like test cases for how video can better their reach in terms of like either building up their footprint in the digital world, or just like actually like raising money or getting their message out across to people who may want to volunteer or who may want to contribute. Yeah. And they're all doing great. They're all really interested and focused, and I'm excited to see what kind of videos they want to put together.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because they have varying levels of experience already. Like you can tell some of them, when we do assignments, they submit them and they've already got captions burned in, or they've, they're lit really well. Like you could tell they've really thought through these things. And then some people are like, how do you work this thing? It's like, so, that's the thing I like about this too, is like, we really do kind of take all comers. And I think it's been very good. I think the main takeaway for us is that, when we started it, we really didn't know what the response was going to be exactly. But, every group that we've taken through the course, those groups are making videos.
Yes.
And what's been kind of nice too is even after we finish with a cohort and we move on to the next one and they go back to their sort of normal life, they continue to post the videos they make in our Facebook groups and stuff that we have. So even now, a year later, we're getting videos from that advanced group last year that, they're making stuff about their legislative sessions, events they're having and things like that. It's very exciting.
Which, on a personal note, it's fun for us to kind of get these dispatches from all across the country, like figuring out what are they doing in Hawaii right now, and
Mhm.
we'll get like a little view of like what is the legislature doing there, or like what are the things that their organization is advocating for
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
or in Ohio or wherever.
Yeah. Well, if anybody is just tuning in, my name's Gerard Matthews. This is Anderson Penix, and we're coming to you from Little Rock and from California. And we're talking about the Crash Course, which is something we've been doing for 3 years now.
Mhm.
Did we start in?
I think this is the third year
This
of
is
it.
the third
Yeah.
year. Um, it's a course on video production. It's really aimed at people that work for nonprofits, although it would work for anyone. Where we basically show you how to create some content if all you have is a cell phone and a laptop. And we've taken a number of people through this course, a number of groups through this course, all across the country. They're getting a lot out of it. We're getting a lot out of it. So, yeah, we're trying to kind of gin up some interest in the course, let people know what it is. We're also just here to answer your questions. So if anybody has any question about video production, how their camera on their phone works, how to get started with Adobe Premiere, any of that stuff, we're here to answer those questions. And we haven't had any questions yet. So if anybody even just wants to say hi, that would be nice. I feel like I'm speaking into a void. If you comment on the post, we can see your comment here. We can bring it up on the screen, and we can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
And I'll say this also: if you catch this post it being live, comment anyway, ask a question anyway, and we may when we do this again, we'll bring that up, or we'll answer it in the comments, or maybe create a video ourselves and practice what we preach.
Yeah, exactly. We will always get back to you if this pops up later. You're in a meeting right now. You can't really deal with this. Leave us your question. We'll get back to you later. Because, yeah, this is something we want to try to do every so often. We're going to see how this one goes. But we'll keep coming on here to kind of answer your questions. I think it's a good place for us to be. But Anderson, I'm interested, this is something that I think about all the time because I'm trying to come up with assignments for the courses and looking at what they're turning in and thinking about what to do next year. As somebody who sits in on every one, what have you kind of been surprised about over the last couple of years as you've seen people go through this?
Yeah, I think the variety of people's experience, as someone who was in kind of a nonprofit communications role previously, videos, like I loved video. I, always kind of dabbled in editing. And it was one of those things where I never had, we were in a very small nonprofit. And so it felt daunting to create, to like put something out there in the world. So when somebody says, I don't feel comfortable making a video out until I have everything worked out in my head, or I have the perfect script, or I know what kind of graphics I'm going to use. Like I understand where they're coming from. And so seeing kind of the approach here of like, just do it, because we want it to be perfect from that communication side. The audience doesn't care. They are going to either watch it or they're not going to watch it. If they watch it, it's because it's interesting to them in some way. Maybe it's entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it deals with something important to them or they think is important. And you're going to find those people if you are true to like whatever the message is you're trying to create. And so I'm always kind of astounded at the levels that people are comfortable with video, but a lot of them still kind of run into that same, I don't know what kind of video I want to make. I don't know how to do this thing I want to do. And I'm afraid to even try anything because it's not going to be what I think it should be or what it's going to be perfect. Yeah. And so that's always, and I like seeing people kind of get over that barrier within this course. And I always find that heartening because this is very easy once you start doing it.
Right,
Like
right.
it's a lot more daunting if you don't have anybody telling you you can do this.
Yeah, and it's very easy to psych yourself out of it
Hmm.
because you see people do it and you think, "Oh, well, they've got everything figured out. They
Yeah.
have all the answers. They're thinking 9 steps ahead."
Hmm.
And they're not.
No.
They're just willing to do it. I tell people all the time, the big secret to all of this is it's way easier than you think.
Yeah.
I mean, you can complicate it. If you want to spend $50,000 on an ad, I can help you spend $50,000 on an ad. You know, if you want to spend 50 seconds on an ad, I can tell you how to spend 50 seconds on one. I mean,
Yeah.
take your phone out and just do it. So yeah, I think that's been neat for me to see that comfort level progress, as people go through. Um, and I think one thing we may do here in the future too is maybe try to bring on some of the people that have been in the course so they can talk about it, or bring on some people from the funding organizations at the center or at Headwaters and talk about their experience with the course.
And I think that'd be super helpful. Even though our person who we talked to at Headwaters is actually taking the course herself, and it'll be interesting seeing her from both perspectives, or like talking to her from both perspectives.
Yeah.
Um, as a video professional, someone who does this, for a living, who creates videos for other organizations, is there anything like of all of the con or all of the lessons in Crash Course,
Mhm.
is there anything that like you think of, man, I wish I had had this when I was starting out?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, that's a good question. I think I got started in this stuff so early, it's hard for me to even think about that. I
Mhm.
was working at TV stations when I was 18 years old. Um, but I mean, there's some stuff like, I worked for Arkansas Advocates for Children and Families, which is one of the groups. We've had people from that organization go through this course. And it was a grantee of the Center on Budget. And so um, I think, one of the things I wish I had, it would have been nice to have had this course when I worked there because
Mhm.
because of that message of like, quit being a perfectionist, just do something,
Yeah.
just make a start, come up with something we tell people all the time is come up with something you think you'll be able to stick with. So maybe you have a series that you do every Thursday and it's called The Big Number. And you talk about one statistic that has something to do with your work, and so
Mhm.
every week you're talking about one number. Like just keep it as simple as you can make it, or maybe you can call it the top three, or the top three things going on at your legislature this week. Just what is something like simple and digestible that you can do regularly. And I think too, one of the things we really kind of harp on is that you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Yes.
You don't you've you don't have to make this stuff up and spend a lot of time creating new stuff. You can just repackage stuff you have around. So if your organization is making blog posts regularly, that's a video.
Mhm.
Or that blog post might be 5 videos, depending on how
Yeah.
long it is and how in depth it is. You've got the content.
Mhm.
You just put it out in a different way, So I mean, that's the thing too. It's like they already have the stuff, So, one of the things we borrowed from Mark Duplass, who's one of my favorite filmmakers, is quit looking around for the secret weapon and use the sword that's in your hand.
Mhm.
What do you
Yeah.
already have? Like that, you have this stuff laying around. You've got plenty of stuff to talk about. You've got smart people to interview. Um, just turn the camera on and get going.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Which
what we.
the whole like the idea of you can take that report and record it, Like you could even just like narrate it and then put over some B-roll that you've captured just in the past, or go out and shoot some footage around your state capitol, or around your around a park, or around a main street, at a coffee shop, whatever is the relevant images for that, and you have easy videos that you can
Yeah.
create.
And we tell people, we talk to people about how if you're going to go out and get some B-roll footage, like how to shoot that, how to
Mhm.
frame stuff up, how to get a wide shot, a medium shot, and a tight shot. But we also understand that people are really strapped for time. So
Mhm.
what if you bought some, what if you bought some stock footage and use
Yep.
that? How do you use that for maximum effect? If you don't want to be on camera, how can you work with just video and text?
Mhm.
Is one of the things we talk about too. So there's lots of ways to do this, and really the main thing is, um, how do I get out of my own way here?
Yeah. and,
So
and and we also talk, a lot of the stuff that we talk about is the technical stuff, how to use Premiere to create this video, how to, a lot of people would be surprised at why you can't be in front of a when you like I can't move my camera to the right here and sit myself in front of this window, because even though it's a beautiful sight outside, it's not going to look good on camera. And so it's like we kind of talk about the fundamentals about why certain things have to be shot a certain way, or you want to hold for 10 seconds just to make sure you give yourself plenty of time, uh, plenty of space when you're editing. So, you don't cut yourself off mid sentence or at the very end and it sounds kind of awkward.
right,
Um,
little
and,
little things that you're going to stub your toe on if you go out there first. We're trying to save people some time and some heartache, right?
yeah. And then we're going to talk about also the social media aspect of it, how to export these things. What shape do they need to be? Do they need to be square? Do they need to be horizontal? Do they need to be vertical? And where should you post these? Because that's kind of a different kind of calculus too.
Yeah, exactly. And that stuff that, we know some about that, but then we usually bring in a guest who's, somebody who does this every day, so they can really dig deep and tell people,
Mhm.
the best ways to share video and dimensions and platforms and all of that kind of stuff. Put the website up here. It's www.thecrashcourse.tv. There you will find anything that you want to know about the course. Um, we are always available. You can comment here. You can connect with us on any of these platforms that we're on. Um, thecrashcourse.tv is the website. This has been fun. I don't know if we're going to get any comments today, unfortunately. I was really looking forward to kind of giving out some free advice, but I think what we're going to do is just keep doing this,
Yeah,
following our own advice. I mean, I've had fun.
yeah, I have too. This is again, who doesn't want to be like on news?
It looks like we're playing in a TV studio, which is like kind of fun. Um, but no, this has really been great. And so yeah, this is live, and so we'll maybe make some comments on the post to this effect. But if you catch this in your feed and we're already done, um, then we will answer those later and get back to them later.
Mhm.
Actually, we've got a comment. Clay
Hey,
Fitzpatrick said, "Hey, I enjoyed it. Keep it up, man. What a nice thing to say." Clay is such a nice person. Um, I'm just that makes me happy. And doesn't this look cool?
it looks great. I love it.
Thank you, Clay. I really, really appreciate it. If anybody else has anything to say, we'll take it. We'll stay on here for a couple of more minutes. But yeah, this really is fun. I have been doing this kind of work for a long time. I worked for a TV station when I was 18. I learned, or Clay says, looks very cool. I love this thing, man. This is so much fun. Um, um, this is all kind of mind blowing to me because I remember when this was impossible.
Yeah, right.
you
You
know,
needed
like,
a whole room full of technicians
and
and
heavy, heavy,
equipment.
heavy cable, and what they called a microwave, which was like this huge tower that sent out a signal, not something you heat up hot pockets in. Um, but this is just like my mind is blown by how cool this is. So thank you for the comments. That's awesome. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe we would come back and do this here in a couple of weeks. Maybe we'll try to put some info out on all these different platforms to kind of let people know that we're going to be here. Maybe we could take some questions in advance. Maybe that
Yeah,
would work.
I think that might be the play next time. Will be to send out a post, say, send us any questions you have, and we'll answer them on air.
um, I'm going to put Anderson's email address up on the screen.
Yeah, send anything.
Hit us info at 1990films.com. 1990 Films is the name of my production company. So if anybody has any questions at all about the course, or if you have a question about your gear, or you have a question about how to get started doing any of this stuff, we're more than happy to help you answer those questions. Like I said, if you see this later, we're not live, go ahead and ask your question anyway. We'll answer it. And if you have any questions that you want us to answer next time, info at 1990films.com. And we'd be more than happy to help.
And I'll do the typical social media plug. If you're not following us already, like the page, follow us. And every Tuesday we're sharing segments of Crash Course, just kind of a behind the scenes taste of it, of like how to do various things in Premiere, how to do things when you are setting up your shots, how to record the best sound, just a bunch of just tips and tricks just
Practical
throughout
stuff.
the video production
Yeah.
process.
Yeah, practical stuff that you can use. So yeah, go to the Facebook page. We've got, like Anderson said, there's a lot of clips there from the actual course, like from the sessions that we give people, and there's some like promo material stuff, and all the contact info is there. What else did we want to talk about today? Did we have anything? Do you feel like we've?
The big thing is, if you're a nonprofit who maybe you're not part of a big network, we do have an independent cohort coming up later this year that we are going to have individual spots for. So that's an option if an individual is interested in checking out this course.
Yeah, thank you for that. Because the way this typically has worked, it's a service that a funder has bought for their network. So you have this one foundation that pays us for the crash course, and we kind of provide it to their grantees or their state level groups. But we have done an independent cohort. We did one last summer where we had about, I think, 10 groups, and these were from the American Academy of Pediatrics, Arkansas Campaign for Grade Level Reading, which is now called Excel by 8. They were part of that group. I'm drawing a blank on the others, but we had people from all around and all different disciplines. And that was a group that was just made up of a hodgepodge of people that had sent us an email and said, hey, I'm interested in this. And so we found a way to make a group where they could all kind of work together and learn from each other. So thank you for that. So whether you're a nationwide organization or a nationwide network of organizations or a foundation or a funder, we've got something for you. If you're out there and you're saying, hey, I've got this small business of mine that I've been trying to communicate more about, we'll have a place for you too. So so this is, man, again, how fun is this? This is just like, it's like having our own little.
I just like seeing the live just blinking red symbol. It just feels important.
Yeah. Well, it looks cool. Well, anyway, I guess we can close out. It's been 30 minutes. So, again, if anybody has any questions, if you see this later when we're not live still, you can go ahead and leave the question. We'll get back to you. We will probably be here in a couple of weeks. Brent Walker says, very helpful info. Brent is a fantastic camera operator, videographer, whatever you want to call it, and it takes some of the most beautiful drone footage of Central Arkansas available, like that's out there. Brent is always got a drone up in the air. It's good to have people like Brent, especially when your drone is sitting at the bottom of a lake. So Brent, I appreciate that comment. We will be back in a couple of weeks. Thank you to anybody that watched any of this. If you made it through this whole thing, wow, thanks for staying with us. This has been a crazy experience. Anderson, any parting thoughts before we hop off here?
Just even if you're not making videos, but you're interested in it, watch videos. Kind of think about how what you watch is made and like why you might like certain videos from certain creators, and just kind of think about it a little more deeply, and I think you'll get excited about making some on your own.
Yeah, and if you want to see more info about this whole thing that we've got going on, you can find that at thecrashcourse.tv. You can also follow us on any of these platforms that you're seeing us on right now: LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. Man, marvels of modern technology. What a crazy world we live in. Anderson, thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Of course, thanks for setting it up.
Yeah, cool. No, sure, of course. It's my job. So we will, everybody, we'll see you back here the next time we do this. If you have any questions you want answered, you can send us an email. I'm going to put that email back up here one more time so everybody can see it. There's the email address. That'll take you straight to Anderson, and he'll have that so we can talk about it for next time. In the meantime, have a great rest of your week. We really appreciate you tuning in. This has been really fun, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.